They say a traveler's greatest companion is a journal, one that captures fleeting moments in unfamiliar places. But what if that journal itself held a secret too dark to comprehend? Tonight, you'll follow a lone wanderer, weary from endless roads, who stumbles upon a dusty red notebook in an abandoned motel. Its inked pages hold more than just stories. They carry a dire warning. If you're reading this, it's already seen you. Step inside this tale of silent corridors, strange knocks, and entries that unravel the boundary between curiosity and dread. The traveler, let's call him Owen, had been driving for hours under a moonless sky. When he finally spotted the flicker of a motel sign, half its neon letters burned out, relief washed over him. The parking lot was empty, silent except for the rustle of a nearby tree, its branches scraping against a broken lamppost. Even the clerk at the front desk was nowhere to be found. A note on the counter simply read, "Rooms are open. Pick one." Room 2B was dimly lit by a single flickering bulb. A stale odor clung to the air as though no one had slept there for ages. On the nightstand, he noticed a battered red notebook. At first, he assumed it was left behind by a forgetful guest, but the final entry on the last page jolted him. If you're reading this, it's already seen you. A chill settled in the pit of his stomach. Before he could process the warning, a sudden knock rattled the door. Fear crept into his veins as he realized he hadn't heard another soul in the entire building. If you found a cryptic warning in an abandoned place, would you dare to read further or stop before curiosity became your downfall? Owen set the notebook aside, heart pounding, and steeled himself. He peered through the peephole, expecting to see a weary traveler like himself, or maybe the elusive motel clerk. But the corridor outside was empty, the hallway light dim and flickering like a faulty heartbeat. Another knock echoed, closer this time. Could it be coming from the walls, or even the window? It felt as if the motel itself was tapping on his nerves, testing his resolve. Returning to the notebook, Owen skimmed earlier entries. Heard a voice in the next room. No guests around. Read one. Dreamt of eyes watching from the window, shadows that move without light. Warned another. Each entry carried an increasingly urgent tone, as if the writers knew they had little time left. Some pages were torn out, leaving ragged edges like wounds. Others ended mid-sentence, the pen's final word trailing off in a shaky line. With every sentence he read, the air in the room seemed to press in tighter, as though it held a collective breath. He felt an unshakable sensation that he wasn't reading alone, that something hovered just beyond his field of vision, waiting. Would you keep reading, hoping to uncover a solution, or run for your car and never look back? Unable to ignore his mounting dread, Owen decided to explore the motel. Maybe he could find the manager's office or another guest who had experienced the same eerie events. The corridors were lifeless, illuminated only by a dull emergency light at each end. Old carpet muffled his steps, but every so often, he heard a distinct creak in the floorboards, footsteps that seemed to trail him, echoing when he paused, then fading when he moved. He passed room after room with doors ajar, revealing stale, hollow spaces devoid of luggage or signs of life. Faint scuff marks on the floors hinted that people had once been there, but had vanished abruptly. More unnerving were the mirrors in the hall, each reflecting a figure that didn't match his own posture, almost as if someone else lurked behind him. But whenever he spun around, the space was empty, the air tinged with a faint, metallic tang. Eventually, he found the manager's office door, slightly open. Inside, a single lamp illuminated a disorganized desk covered in dusty memos. One memo, pinned to the wall, mentioned sudden disappearances and unsettling knocks reported by multiple guests. Beneath it, a scribbled note read, "Red notebook, do not read." His spine tingled with realization. Everyone who encountered that ominous notebook had either fled or vanished, and he'd read more than a few lines already. Retreating from the manager's office, Owen felt an urgency to gather his belongings and leave this haunted motel behind. Yet a distorted sense of responsibility pulled him back to room 2B. The corridor's lights flickered as he hurried, every pulse of brightness revealing glimpses of silhouettes in his peripheral vision, fleeting shapes that vanished the moment he turned his head. Inside room 2B, the notebook remained exactly where he left it, its crimson cover glaring at him like an accusation. Against his better judgment, he flipped to a partially torn page. The writer had scrawled an incantation or perhaps a plea, but the ink bled into the paper, leaving only fragments. Darkness beckons. only reflection can, seen by the eyes. Run. Before he could parse the meaning, the doorknob jiggled. This time the knocking was furious, as if someone, or something, was demanding to be let in. The temperature plummeted, and a sudden gust rattled the room's single lamp, plunging the space into chaotic shadows. Owen's breath caught in his throat. It felt like an invisible gaze bore into him from every corner. Slowly he backed away from the door, gripping the notebook tight, as if it were a shield against the unknown presence outside. The pounding ceased as abruptly as it began, replaced by an unnatural silence that weighed on Owen's ears. His heart hammered in the stillness, and he realized he had to escape, now. But when he tried the door, the handle refused to turn. Panic gripped him as he tugged harder, to no avail. It felt like the motel had come alive, sealing every exit to trap him inside. He spun to the window, a grimy pane overlooking the deserted parking lot. His car was there, taunting him with the promise of freedom. Yet the glass wouldn't budge, no matter how hard he pressed. In desperation, he searched for something to break it, settling on a small wooden chair. With all his might, he smashed the chair's leg against the window. Instead of shattering, the glass seemed to ripple, as if it were made of liquid darkness that absorbed every blow. At the edge of his vision, the notebook's pages fluttered on the bed. Its cover opened on its own, turned by an unseen hand. He swore he heard distant whispers emanating from it, inaudible words that grated on his nerves, tugging at the edges of his sanity. A surge of dizziness washed over him. The walls seemed to bend inward, threatening to collapse. Realizing there was no immediate escape, Owen steadied himself, preparing to confront whatever lurked within those cursed pages. Summoning every ounce of courage, Owen lifted the red notebook. The pages seemed alive under his touch, pulsating as though they contained a heartbeat of their own. In the dim light, words appeared that hadn't been visible before, lines scrawled in a spidery handwriting. Release it, or be devoured. His reflection in the grimy mirror by the desk flickered. For an instant, he saw someone else staring back, a figure with sunken eyes, pale skin, and a twisted grin, clutching the same notebook. Fear hardened into resolve as he remembered the half-torn incantation. Hoping it might be a key, he read the remaining words aloud, his voice trembling but unbroken. Shadows gathered at the edges of the room, swirling into a single, looming shape. The same violent knocking returned, vibrating through the walls like thunder. Yet as he spoke each phrase, the shape faltered, shrieking with what sounded like rage and pain. The doorknob rattled, and the door swung open, this time of its own accord. Without pausing, Owen hurled the notebook across the threshold. The swirling darkness lunged after it, dissolving into the corridor with a chilling hiss. Grabbing his bag, Owen sprinted out of the room. He didn't look back, even as the hallway lights blinked one last time. Only when he reached his car did he dare glance at the motel. Through a dusty window, he glimpsed a faint red glow. Then, nothing but silent, empty darkness. Thank you for venturing into the motel's forsaken corridors. If you stumbled upon a cryptic notebook with a warning this dire, would you pry deeper or burn it on the spot? Let us know in the comments how you'd handle the unknown. And if the thrill of hidden horrors pulled you in tonight, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Dare to Listen for more tales that twist reality. After all, the scariest truths are often scribbled where least expected, waiting for curious eyes to set them free.